I went off on a customer at work today and it felt so good. I am a 22-year-old female and work for a big box retailer. I've been here since I was 14. Our policy on returns has always been 30 days. I started off working the customer service desk and was warned by my co-workers about a customer who always would come in trying to return multiple items well past the 30-day period. From what they told me, she was an absolute nightmare of a person and would regularly make employees cry. Somehow, I never dealt with her directly as a customer service rep, but heard all the stories about how our store manager, we'll call him Dan, would always end up giving in to her because she was a long-time and loyal customer. Dan had been the manager of this store since it opened and definitely had his favorites when it came to our regulars, even if they were awful people to the rest of the staff. It would infuriate my co-workers because they knew she'd always demand a higher up until she got him and could get her way. Over the next several years, I worked my way up through cashier, supervisor, lead cashier, floor supervisor, floor manager, training manager, assistant manager, and deputy manager. Once I was in management, I finally started having to deal with this woman on a regular basis. Protocol is to always start with a lower-ranked manager and work the way up if the customer continues to be a problem and demands a higher up. As assistant manager, I just stated the rules once again to her, and then complied when she asked for the next highest manager, the deputy. Once I was the deputy, or number 2, I tried to stand my ground more, but always ended up having to call Dan, and just as always she'd get her way and not have to play by the rules like everyone else. In January, Dan finally retired after nearly 3 decades of running the store, and I took over. Today, for the first time since becoming store manager, Karen comes in with her little routine. Little did she know Dan wouldn't be here to bail her out this time. She asked for a higher up until it reached the new deputy who had just moved into my former role. He radioed me saying our favorite customer would like to see you. I knew it was go time. I started off by telling her the same thing she had been told countless times. Unfortunately, we cannot return these items as the date of purchase is over the 30-day policy. She responded, "I'd like to speak with your store manager, please." With a smile on my face, I got to say the most satisfying words I think one could ever say in retail. "I am the store manager." Her facial expression dropped. "Where's Dan?" "I'd like to speak to your boss, Dan." "Dan no longer works here. I run this store and I am now asking you to leave. We will under no circumstance honor a refund, and if you do not exit the store, I will have you trespassed," was my exact reply. My deputy manager and other employees who had the unfortunate luck of dealing with this woman before were enjoying every moment of it. She had no reply and walked out with her head down. It felt amazing and is definitely one of my highlights of being store manager since taking over. I've lost all respect for my girlfriend, so I tried climbing a small mountain with her as sort of a fun date activity. Not even 100 yards from the summit, she sits down and refuses to go to the top, which was an easy stroll away, so I ended up going alone. This has become a metaphor for our relationship in a way. I want to start something. She goes along with it but never commits, and expects me to finish everything without her. In addition, she refuses to get a real job. She claims she has a job but makes less than $400 a month. We don't plan on having kids. I don't want any. But she seems to think she'll still be able to sit around at home all day with her computer and leave me to work my ass off and support her dreams. But at the same time, she won't push her limits. She also refuses to drive, and I act as her taxi service. I do most of the cooking, cleaning, and shopping. She mostly wants to watch movies, play games, screw, and go out. For some people, an active sex life and shared interests is all they want in a relationship, but I can't afford to support her, nor do I want to. We've been dating for 2 years now. We get along well as far as interests and hobbies, but it's becoming clear that if I take things to the next step, she'll be more of a hindrance than a help. So I haven't been able to bring myself to commit to marriage, and I don't think she'll ever change her ways. And I'm tired of being alone on top of the mountain. My husband is having an affair. I, a 38-year-old woman, found out that my husband, who is 39, of 11 years, had been cheating on me. I was devastated when I found out. In the aftermath, my husband convinced me to go to marriage counseling. He swore he was sorry and would do anything to regain my trust in him. I did agree to go to counseling. I was thinking of our child and wanting to make our marriage work because I love him. The first appointment was this week. Before the session even started, I found out that my husband made the appointment over a month ago. I only found out he was having an affair less than 2 weeks ago. He admitted that he has been keeping an appointment with a marriage counselor in his back pocket in case I discovered the affair. He's been making and cancelling appointments with different counselors for months in case I found out. I am a fool for believing he was sorry. We have been married for 11 years, together for 14 years, and we have a 9-year-old. I know now that there's no saving our marriage. I've started looking for a new place to live so I can move out of our flat when the lease expires. I've had an appointment with a solicitor and, well, I'm moving ahead with a divorce. What I wanted to get out is that I'm terrified. I don't have any support from my family. I do have friends, but I don't know, and I never thought I would be without my husband. Our child doesn't know, and I dread having to break this news. My solicitor recommended a counselor that specializes in seeing children whose parents are divorced. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. I admit I'm scared. Thanks to the random young woman who stuck up for a total stranger, me. I'm a non-binary person who was born and raised male, and I'm starting to get more comfortable finding a female style which is closer to who I am. Not trying to pass or fool anyone, and I couldn't anyway because I am 6'5", broad shoulders and deep-set eyes. So, I try to keep my look subtle, but it unfortunately draws attention. I was out the other night in the city and some young men were catcalling, leering, snickering, and filming me on their cell phones. A group of middle-aged outdoor diners was basically trying to stifle laughing or smirking too. Then, one young woman walks up to the leader of the shitheads and basically tears him a new one. He doesn't know what to do and tries to mutter some comeback about me being her girlfriend or something. She goes off on him even more, and now the crowd of diners is laughing at him. Him and his buddies slink off and they clap for her. The same idiots who were smirking during the catcalling earlier. I just looked at her and thanked her, and she said I looked great and not to let them get to me. Another woman said, "Welcome to our world, honey," and we laughed. My wife admitted to cheating, now lying about it. So like the title says, my wife admitted to cheating 6 days ago. I was broken beyond belief. She held me in her arms as I sobbed and continuously said she was sorry. I tried to handle it the best I could and tried to remain composed for the next 2 days. All of a sudden she could not handle my ups and downs and sudden shifts in mood because, to her, I was putting up an act. To be honest, I had so much rage, sadness, guilt, shame, and felt so worthless. Still do. As soon as we got into an argument about it, I said I was going to screw the other guy over because his career, like mine, frowns upon inappropriate relationships. So he is bound to lose it all. In her anger and efforts to try and protect him, she now literally lies to my face that none of that ever happened. She has gone as far as emailing people at my work saying it's all a lie, and that I made assumptions, and that I am just trying to manipulate her with threats of ruining someone's career over my skewed reality. Went as far as to show up at my workplace and accuse me of being a liar. Over the phone, since I had to leave the home, she constantly tells me I'm lying. She fears I may be recording her, of course. What hurts the most, I guess, is how can someone who held you in her arms, apologizing for her mess up and seeing how much I was hurting, can shift like that and easily lie to my face and others, attempting to make me seem crazy. This whole thing hurts even more because I cannot believe what is going on. She kept saying this person has child support obligations, and I should think about his kids before trying to ruin his career. But were they thinking about those kids when they were having sex? I highly doubt it. So why should I care about his kids when they obviously did not?